Oh, hello. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to have a proper analysis of the hand of the Archon Kill Team Miniatures. So if you tuned in on Friday, you saw my kind of knee-jerk initial reactions to the Kill Team Las Vegas Open reveals. And now we're going to have a proper look at the miniatures and a proper kind of dissection of what we think this means for the team. So we're going to start with the Arch Cyberite. So the Arch Cyberite, as far as I can work out, has a new head, a new torso front, and really bizarrely, I am certain that they have a new sword. So if you look at the sprue, the Cavalite sprue, it comes with a really similar sword, right? With a really similar arm. But if you look, this sword has this little notch cut out of it. So it's a different sword. I'm not sure why they've done this. It could be that they want to give him a new, better, really good sword because they want to make the team really powerful. It could be that the idea is to give him a worse sword, so that they can have a worse weapon to pair with the blast pistol. And if you want to take the better weapons, the power weapon, or the agonizer that are on the standard sprue, you have to take the worse pistol, the Splinter pistol. Because if we look at the data card that he has in the Compendium Sybarite, the leader of the Compendium Dark Eldar team, you can see the blast pistol, very desirable, 4-5 damage, range red AP2. The power weapon, 4 dice, 4-6, lethal 5+. The agonizer, 4 dice, 3-6, lethal 5+ brutal. For my money, power weapon and blast pistol is actually top pick. I think the power weapon is better than the agonizer. Like, they're very similar. Right, they're very similar. But I think the power weapon is better than the agonizer for that extra point of base damage. So, if this is a power weapon, brilliant. If this is better than a power weapon, even better. If this is supposed to be some worse weapon, with this one on the sprue being the standard power weapon, then that's understandable because the blast pistol's really good. Seems to have a new head. Seems to have a new torso front with some gems on it as well. Like, I don't think this torso front is in the standard kit. But yeah, there's our sergeant. Well, we got this fella who is a pseudo rack. So we got a new head and 2 new arms. This is a weird choice for me for the lore. They've done a few options like this where they've included like a pseudo version of what the units they have more generally in 40k. Now, Zimbad actually said that he thought they would do this for Dark Eldar. I poo-pooed the idea. So there's egg on my face. I'll be very interested in the lore justification for this. Kind of mixing of the... Because in my mind, the Dark Eldar Society is almost 3 separate. You've got the Covens, the Cabals, and the witch cults, right? And there are 3 very separate entities. So to see this is obviously a Cabalite warrior that's got some knowledge and weapons and fighting style from the Covens. Be interesting to see what the justification there is, what the lore there is, what it says. I don't claim to be a Dark Eldar expert, but it just seems a little bit weird to me. So I imagine he's going to have some kind of poison weapon ability with his swords there, because that is what the racks have in 40k. So poison in Kill Team tends to be, if you think of the Kroot Toxin rounds or the Starstrider's Death Cult Assassin, poison tends to be lethal 5-up and stun. So that could be what they can do in combat. I'd also kind of expect a pseudo rack to get a feel no pain type save, because that's an iconic ability of the racks. Just as an aside, I think it might be cool if you have a Dark Eldar army and you didn't want to pick up this box, just to have the rack hanging around with the, to use this actual model as a proxy for this. That might be cool to give your team a little bit of texture. I don't know. Your mileage may vary. I probably won't bother because I don't want to buy a whole box of racks, but it's something worth thinking about. Then we've got the Disciple of Yelindra. Really interesting. So, first off, it's a brand new head with these long flowing locks, and it's new arms, grenades, and a pistol. So, First of all, it looks like a grenadier. I think in the stream actually mentioned that they were getting a grenadier. We've got grenades here. We also got some grenades that have been glued on here, I think. Now, Dark Eldar in the compendium list have 3 kinds of grenade. They have a plasma grenade, which is a 3-4 damage blast. They have a haywire grenade, which was previously limited to the witches only, but we seem to be mixing all the things up, so why not? Haywire has an interesting mechanic, so each time a friendly operative makes a shooting attack with the weapon, if the target has a save characteristic of 3 or better, the weapon gains lethal 4-up for the shooting attack. So that's alright. It's 2-3 damage though, but 2-3 lethal 4-up. Not bad. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. And potentially as well, this was a leader piece of war gear. A leader piece of war gear in the compendium list, but maybe they have access also to a phantasm grenade, which is a sort of stun grenade, right? So it's got a blast, a small blast, lethal 5-ups. If it gets a crit, it stuns, but the damage is nothing to write home about. They don't have a crack grenade equivalent in the compendium, although they could give them one, which would make the operative a lot more deadly. A clue as to the lack of... I could see her having these utility-type grenades because she also has this interesting poison pistol. So this seems to be a stinger pistol, but it's the same pistol that the 40k homunculus carries. Again, it's probably toxin, so it's probably got lethal 5-up and stun. Don't know how much damage it will do. I did look up Yelindra, really interesting. So if you Google Yelindra, you get a Lexiconum article. We learn that Yelindra is a reference to the Archon Yelindra in the 7th edition Dark Eldar Codex, who apparently poisoned a hive world and went on to found the cult of the Lamia, who are these poison expert sword people that you can have for the retinue of your Archon. Could proxy this as one of those. I mean, it doesn't have the same pistol, it has a sword, but with a little bit of conversion if you wanted to, just a thought, it's possible. Yeah. The Disciple of Yelindra, a grenadier with some kind of poison pistol. The Crimson Duelist. The Crimson Duelist is a pseudo-witch, right? So we've got another kind of pseudo thing from another unit. This is 2 new arms and a head. This isn't the Splinter pistol arm that comes on the sprue. It's a new one with a new angle. So we had a look at the Witch Fighter card from the compendium. Razor Flails, 5 dice, hitting on 3s, 3-4 damage, Ceaseless Brutal, Reap 1. Okay, pretty good. This is a single Razor Flail though, and the Witch Fighter had double Razor Flails, so maybe it'll only be 4 dice. Witches used to get a 5-up invulnerable save, so maybe the Crimson Duelist gets a 5-up invulnerable save. She has Duelist, so maybe she has what's rapidly appearing as a kind of standard ability for things that are Duelist in nature, which is, can resolve 1 dice at the start of combat as a parry. That could be a thing as well. So you've got a pretty reasonable, middle-of-the-road, I would say, combat specialist. Nothing necessarily to write home about, though. Gunners. So we've shown 1 gunner. It seems very likely to me that we'll get both gunners. This one down here is actually from my original Kill Team 18 kill team. So this is the blaster, and the one that they've shown off is the shredder. I'm sure you'll get both. Both are totally unchanged from the compendium. Yeah, so model-wise, I mean, they're both totally unchanged from the stock kit. I imagine they're not going to be much change from their compendium data card, to be honest. I imagine you'll have to pick one, and you can sideboard the other. So most of the time you're picking the blaster, but you might pick the shredder, which does my head in. The shredder is the one that has the blast ability. The blaster does not have a blast ability. It has AP2, which is much more useful, Just because I got my Eldar and looked at them, I can paint much better than this now. I don't know whether if I do the Eldar, I want to try and match them into my old paint style, or whether I want to do them a new thing. Potentially strip some of the Eldar that I have, use paint strip them down, and match them in with the Eldar in the new scheme I decide to do. Or whether I just want to do some extra Eldar to bulk up this team. I can't decide yet. If you've got any hobby thoughts on that conundrum, if you had these that you'd painted in 2018 and now we're here, 5 years later, pretty sure I can do a better job. Pretty sure I don't have to put thick varnish on that's going to speckle like that. Should I just scrap these and do a completely new Eldar team? Or should I save myself? God knows I've got enough hobby to do. and just do something to match him with these and have to potentially build less guys. And if I end up needing them, should I strip? Would you strip 2 models to bulk it up if you want the extra 2 for the roster? Let me know down below. And again with the heavy gunner, same thing. So we got the Splinter Cannon was one we were shown. We'll also get the Dark Lance. These are just in the kit, right? Completely unchanged from the kit. I don't expect the rules will change much from the compendium. We got this guy who I've dubbed the baby homunculus. He's got a kind of baldy head with a weird pipe going up his nose. It looks kind of freaky. So it's a new head and 2 new arms again. He could be a healer, right? I had to look it up. The homunculus in 40k can actually heal your guys, so maybe he is a healer. He has another kind of ranged weapon. It's not this one. The Disciple of Yelindra has this one. He has some other kind of poisonous pistol. Maybe it's an injector for injecting his friends, and it doesn't really have a ranged attack. And he has a couple of things here. So maybe he has like a different, he can inject you with green or he can inject you with orange, kind of like the medic in the Bloodied team where he's got different buffs he can hand out. Maybe he does that. He has got his rifle as well, which is pretty interesting. So he's always going to be better. I'm going to say this again on the next slide. He's always going to be better than a basic trooper because he hangs onto his rifle, which is good. So even if his abilities turn out to be lackluster because he's not a medic, he's just something else, he's still going to do whatever a basic trooper can do, which is good. And the Sky Splinter Assassin that we've talked about before, 2 new arms. The rifle is, I think, it's new, but I do think it's just a bog standard rifle. It's not any kind of sniper rifle. There's no scoping on there. The barrel doesn't seem to be any longer to me. Obviously, the angle makes it a little bit hard to judge, but I do just think this is a basic rifle. I'd be thrilled to be wrong, because I'm hoping there's more to this guy than I suspect. I expect him to have the same ability as the Kernite Hunter, which people don't love. It's a small luck-based chance to do a powerful thing to reveal someone who's on a conceal. The nice thing about the Sky Splinter Assassin, and apologies I said this 2 videos ago, but the nice thing about the Sky Splinter Assassin as versus the Kernite Hunter is the Kernite Hunter had a pistol. So there was occasionally talk of swapping out the Kernite Hunter for a basic trooper with a rifle. At least the Sky Splinter Assassin retains his rifle, so he is always superior to a basic warrior. Speaking of basic warriors, we were shown 2 basic warriors as part of the LVO reveal. These are absolutely... Some people have thought this was a crossbow type thing. I invite you to go and look at the Games Workshop website at the way they have assembled the Cabalite warriors. This is just one of the guns on the Cabalite warrior sprue. Can be assembled with its dagger weirdly sideways. I don't know why. In fact, these 2 models exist on that page. Along with the 2 gunners they've shown, they've assembled them exactly the same as miniatures they've previously assembled at Heavy Metal. So the question then is it a 10-man team where you're forced to take 2 basic warriors? Is it an 8-man team? And that will be good because it will mean that you could use these 2 extra warriors that you get in the box to make your 2 gunners for your sideboard in your roster to swap them in and out, and you don't need to buy anything else to have the maximum number of Dark Eldar. That will be quite nice. Or is it going to be weirdly like Corsairs where it's a 9-man team and you can only take 1 gunner of the 4 options, counting the heavy gunner and the gunner as 1 pool, so you're still forced to take 2 basic warriors? Don't know. But these are all things worth noting. I think it would be really nice if it was an 8-man, as long as they were powerful enough to be an 8-man team. If they were an 8-man team and you could use these 2 bodies to make you two spare gunners, it would be a really new friendly team, wouldn't it? Be really good. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for, but we'll see. Final thoughts, I really want to know what you think. I think they could be quite powerful, to be fair. I know a lot of people have been disappointed with the way the upgrade sprue is, but actually I feel like if you go through it, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Most people missed that one. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you've got 11 arms, right? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heads and a torso piece. 11 arms, 5 heads and a torso piece. That seems like a kill team upgrade sprue to me. I could have missed something. If I have missed something, let me know. Give me your thoughts down below on the new Drukhari team. I will try and get a similar video as this one, talking about the Arbites. More to talk about, because there's more, like, talking about the miniature design and stuff. That should be coming tomorrow, maybe. But also, I'm going to play a game of Kill Team tomorrow, so maybe it'll be a battle report tomorrow. I did play a game on Friday, but I'd done so much that I didn't feel like I needed to do a battle report as well. Plus, Zimbab beat me really, really handily, so I didn't feel like uploading it. Not quite true, but he did get just an embarrassing grenade shot off at the start. Cause I still seem to just hand out grenade shots to my opponents. Like terrain, I should stop it. I should just hide everybody behind walls, right? I'm sure that's what people do. Just hide everybody behind heavy terrain. Okie dokie. I hope you enjoyed the video. Cheerio. Bye bye.